Welcome to Friday Mystery Theater, where we attempt to help solve cases by reviewing the facts and asking pertinent questions via a comprehensive overview in a bite-sized, digestible format. Today we take a look at Molly Bish, a young girl who went missing nearly 20 years ago in her hometown of Warren, Massachusetts. So sit back and relax, and let's get into tonight's Mystery Theater. On the morning of June 27, 2000, 16-year-old Molly Bish was working her job as a lifeguard at Cummins Pond in her hometown of Warren, Massachusetts. Several hours later, Molly's parents, Maggie and John, were contacted by police and informed that no lifeguard had been on duty all day and that Molly's belongings had been sitting at her station unattended. Molly was nowhere to be found. The day before, on June 26th, Maggie had noticed a suspicious-looking mustached man sitting in a white car of the beach parking lot near Molly's post. The next day, Maggie didn't see the man, but another witness did see him walking through the parking lot just minutes before Molly arrived, and a local worker saw a similar car parked at a cemetery connected to the pond by a path. The mysterious and unidentified man was the only lead investigators had to go on, and for nearly 3 long years the case went cold, until Molly's remains were found in neighboring Hampton County, after a hunter saw a blue bathing suit in the woods on the City of Palmer's Whiskey Hill in late fall 2002. When he mentioned this to local resident Tim McGuigan, Tim contacted police, triggering what was then the largest search in the state of Massachusetts history. Molly's case was then featured on numerous American television shows, including Disappeared, Unsolved Mysteries, America's Most Wanted, and 48 Hours. In 2004, Maggie and John Bish collaborated with Anna Maria College and founded the Molly Bish Center and Foundation for the Protection of Children and the Elderly, in memory of Molly. The next year, in 2005, a Connecticut resident charged with attempted kidnapping would briefly be under investigation for Molly's disappearance, but it wouldn't be until 2009 that a couple major suspects would begin to emerge. The first was Florida resident Rodney Stranger, who was convicted of killing his girlfriend of 20 years, Crystal Morrison. Following her murder, Crystal's sister alerted Massachusetts authorities, and a look into Stranger revealed many alarming coincidences. Stranger had lived in Southbridge, Massachusetts, a town just a few miles from Warren, for 20 years. He was known to fish at Cummins Pond, where Molly was kidnapped, and hunt in the woods where Molly's body was found, which, remember, was a different site in a neighboring county. Furthermore, he closely matched the description of the man seen in the white sedan by Molly's mother, and was known to have access to a white car similar to it at that time. As of today, Stranger has not been charged in Molly's case, but another heartbreaking coincidence involving him and Molly has emerged, as Stranger has also been questioned in connection with the 1993 murder of Holly Peranian, a girl the same age as Molly who went missing in 1993. And it turns out that a young Molly Bish had written Peranian's parents a letter of hope when Molly went missing. Truly heartbreaking. In November of 2011, Gerald Battistoni, also known as confidential informant number 62 for the East Hampton County Narcotic Task Force, was named as a suspect in Bish's death by private detective Dan Malley of Massachusetts. Having served time for repeatedly raping a teenage girl in the early 90s, Battistoni attempted suicide after newspaper articles identified him as a potential suspect in Bish and Peranian's deaths. Battistoni also resembles the man seen at the pond the day before, and after he was named as a suspect, private detective Dan Malley and the Bish family asked for DNA testing to be done, which Massachusetts police sent to Texas. Battistoni died at Lemuel Shattuck Hospital in Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts in November of 2014, and until this date there have been no arrests in the murder of Molly Bish. So who's responsible for Molly's death? Had Stranger noticed Molly while fishing and taken an interest in her, sitting in the parking lot the day before to get an idea of her arrival time, parking a ways away the next day so he could sneak over and wait for Molly to arrive and finally disposing of her in an area he knew well from his hunting? Or was Dan Malley right in suspicions of Gerald Battistoni? These are the questions we attempt to answer on Friday Mystery Theater. And as always, I'll see you next week.